Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I will start with this one. It was 5 weeks ago this Friday, we settled above this 4 or 5 month descending channel top at 102.39 among another formation not shown. And that settlement did skew us to the upside as a 3 to 5 month objective, anticipating the 153.13 January all-time high. So we're well on our way. And on the way, it was less than 2 weeks later that we also closed above this descending speed line at 118.96, which you find on the daily chart at 118.18. You can see that was actually a Monday morning, actually 2 weeks ago, that we closed above the speed line. That set off a secondary buy signal. Near term, we are expecting 1 to 2 weeks. We're a solid 2 weeks into this right now, the 145.97 rising channel top. And so the question is, how soon will we test 145.97? Will we test 145.97 anytime soon? I mean, we're bullish anyway. We've got 2 significant buy signals over the last month, one above 118.18 over the last 2 weeks, both of which anticipate 153.13 as a retest. And I think 135.57, which is the high settlement price that was put out last week, we pushed through it by about a dime on Tuesday. We closed just below it. You know, if we close today above 135.57, I think by the end of next week or sooner, we test 145.97. Now, the funny thing is, this will, over the next couple of weeks, quite possibly by the end of next week, converge anyway with the 153.13 January all-time high, which is our longer-term objective. And so this is kind of another way of saying that if we close today above 135.57, over the next couple of weeks, we can make our way to 153.13 because over that time frame, this channel top converges. This channel top at 145.97, well suited to contain weekly, possibly monthly buying pressures, especially as it closes in on this 153.13 January all-time high. So on an intraday basis, you know, we just have several minor points, 136.35, 38.33, and 40.31 as tradable levels, but they're more well suited for, I think, exiting a trade rather than entering one. I don't like to enter a position at a minor point only. I like to use them to scale out of positions that I've previously held. So, you know, that is entirely up to you, of course, but if we open above 135.57, we look bullish right out of the gates, and any of these minor points could be used to scale out of at least some of that long position. But as I say, closing today above 135.57, our 145.97, I'm just going to call it a 2 to 3 week target right now, likely by the end of next week, possibly by the end of this week, although the clock is ticking on this week. We only have a few days left in the week itself. Until then, 135.57 may contain, you know, daily highs, and we can ease back to 131.29 today, perhaps. That is the low settlement price that was put out last week following the pullback high, and that would have been, Friday. That would have been Wednesday's high. Key reversal high. That looked like a meaningful sell signal at the time. One of the things that intervened with that sell signal was the Trump administration's announcement that the EU tariffs will be extended, the deadline will be extended to July 9th from June 1st. So there's more time for that to all play out. Certainly added a bullish dynamic to the market. And once again, if we close today above 135.57, that bullish dynamic continues through the rest of the week into next, 145.97 likely within a week or two. But we're talking downside now. And if you're short, you might be at 135.57. You might take some profits at 131.29. If you're kind of a day trader, 3 to 5 day swing trader, I do think that holding below 135.57 will keep 127.72, that former 5/8 Fibonacci upside retracement, in reach over the next 3 to 5 days. So yeah, 3 to 5 day time horizon. We are at the top end of a resistance area that may actually contain buying not only for the day, which it's already done on Tuesday, but possibly into later week where we could fall back to 127.72. where profits could be taken on a short position over the last few days, and you could also play the long side, at least on a daily basis. Now, if we close below 127.72, that pivots the market aggressively south to this support area between 116.30 and 118.80. You've got a newly formed rising channel bottom, this former descending speed line, this zone solid support, able to contain selling through June, and from here we can round up to new highs. From here, we still maintain, as I mentioned earlier, the 153.13 January all-time high above the 118.96 speed line on the weekly chart, which is, of course, on the daily chart at 118.18. So, the downside pivots aggressively south through the rest of the week and into next if we close below 127.72. And inversely, the market pivots north with a settlement today above 135.57, then expecting 145.97 by the end of next week, over the next week or two. So bullish above 135.57 over the 1 to 2 week time frame, bearish below 127.72 over the 1 to 2 week time frame. And inside that, we can play ping pong, so to speak. We are at the upper end, 135.57. We can, over the next 3 to 5 days, back away to 127.72. Please click like, share, subscribe. On Wednesday, I think wickedstocks.com will be putting out 2 individual stock picks. We also offer a 5-day free trial for you to see all that. That will include daily triple Q, daily SPY analysis, weekly Apple stock analysis, etc., etc., etc. So, I'm going to leave it at that for Wednesday's NVIDIA report. I'll be back, of course, again tomorrow for Thursdays, and you have a great day.